Hi, my name is Mark Keene from Keene Engineering, and I'm here to show you, this is the new dredge we're building. It's basically the same machine I've been building for the last probably about 5 years. This is called the Keene 6-inch dredge, supermax dredge. Now, really interesting, I've sold so many of these machines, and I've been really pleasantly surprised on the high volume of sales we've had. And part of the reason is that the dredge is just simply amazing on fine gold recovery. This dredge absolutely hands down outperforms every dredge in the world. Nothing even comes close, and it's because of the sump system and the side boxes. So we've been super happy with the performance. Now, the big difference on this dredge as compared to our standard machine is that if you look down the sides of the pontoons, you'll see that we're running 4 pontoons instead of 3 pontoons. So normally this dredge is probably in the ballpark of about 14 feet long. Now it's about 18 feet long. Now the biggest change we've done on the dredge is we add an extension on the back. Now here's something very interesting, and honestly I haven't really tested this yet. It's all in theory, but you don't know until you actually get into like a country like the Congo or something that they can actually test all these theories out. But I'm probably 95% confident this machine is going to be epic recovery for both gold and diamond. See, this is a gold and diamond supermax. This is the first one I've built like this. So, and it's kind of an interesting concept if you think about it. We already know the dredge will capture all the fine gold, and all the heavy sand and everything will settle in the front part of the box. All the medium sand and 1/8 inch and minus material will fall directly through my feet here into the sump and back up on the side boxes. The interesting thing we do in the back end of the box is we actually put in a taller, deeper riffle that we'd normally use in a conventional dredge. This riffle back here is really designed to capture the diamonds, the gemstones, any kind of a smaller, heavy media type rock like kimberlite, diamonds, garnets, rubies, whatever should sell out of the box. The only downside of that is you have to clean the rear sluice more often. See, normally on a dredge like this, you're going to clean the dredge out once a day. When you have a gemstone recovery or a diamond type recovery box, you have to clean that box more frequently. Probably close to, if you're in good material, maybe once an hour to maybe 3-4 times a day, somewhere in there. It just depends on the type of ground that you're getting. And you can see it. See, when you get into really good gravel, you'll see that your medium-sized gravel, you'll see your kimberlite, your blue stones, you'll see signs of whatever is surrounding the gemstones selling in the box. And as soon as you see that, what we do is we don't shut the dredge down. We'll typically take like some rice bags or some kind of a storage container. We'll set it up on the deck of the dredge, and we'll set up a smaller suction nozzle dredge, like a 2-inch or a 2.5 inch, and we'll literally just vacuum out the riffle boards while we're using the machine. I really believe that this type of recovery system should outperform any other type of diamond recovery or gemstone recovery for a couple of very simple rules. Number one, we're able to vacuum out the riffles every hour to a few hours with a secondary dredge. And we'll just have like a 2.5 inch hose running up to the side of the dredge up here, and we'll have it pumping into a container or have it pumping into rice bags or something. So that one step right there will make a big difference. Plus, the advantage of being able to drop all your sand out before it plugs at the riffle is going to make another huge advantage. So I'm really excited to see how this machine works, and hopefully I'll get some feedback on it in the next, 6 months or so. This particular dredge, you could add section by section on and not have to worry about any consequences of any right and left frames. All the frames are universal. There's no right and left side. It's kind of a unique frame design that we've never really built in the past. It's a lot of work to fabricate, but you talk about something that's very universal to make it shorter or longer. It's a very simple process. Also, if you can kind of get a view of the nose of the dredge, you'll notice that we have an extremely efficient nose on the float. So if you're cutting through fast water, dragging the dredge behind a boat or something, this thing's going to just flow through the water very easy, very low resistance in the water. It looks so efficient. I like to put it outboard and see how well it does, but I've never tried it yet. But anyways, I just wanted to give you another perspective. And also with the side boxes and the sumps and everything else, you have a lot of control over everything. You have a ball valve right here so you can control the power to your side boxes. You have a ball valve here so you can control the flow into the jet. And if you want more pressure here, you can adjust it. So there's a lot of control in this dredge, much more than most dredges. It's probably, in a sense, a little more complicated than some of the other machines we have. But the reality, it's really not that tough, because typically you just open this valve up all the way and let it just flow full pressure into the side boxes, and it works phenomenal. One thing I really didn't discuss too much in my original video on how to use this dredge, and I've talked to a multitude of different customers who loves this little trick, is how to clean the dredge up. See, normally when you clean up a larger dredge, you've got, I would say with a machine of this size, you probably have at least one complete full 5-gallon bucket, probably close to like 100 pounds of concentrate that's going to come out of the dredge. But with this machine, it's so easy to do a cleanup. So here's the technique. You know, remember, you have full control of the engines. You got ball valves. You can control your power to the sumps. You can power your water coming down the sluice box. A lot of infinite control. Also, you have your engine throttle control that you can adjust. So what I typically do for a cleanup is I'll come out and I'll clean up both side boxes. I'll clean these up separately. And then what I'll do is I'll put them back together. And rather than have to go through a lot of work and processing concentrates, there's some tricks. I'll take my sump screen off here, and I'll set this off to the side. So you can kind of see the sump system coming down here. And you've actually got two ports. So what I'll do is I literally would just shove a rag in one of the ports. So I'm just going to take this screen, I'm going to drag it over to here. So now what I've got is a nice 1/4-inch woven wire classifier screen. Now the dredge is going to be running right now, right? One of my sumps is plugged up. So all the debris that falls through this screen, all the material that falls through this is going to end up in this one side box. And you just have to probably shut one engine down by this point and turn that engine up and close some of the water flow going into the jet. I can't tell you exactly how to do it, but you'll kind of figure those things out on your own. But it's so nice to have this system, because now rather than have to clean the entire, taking your material to shore, I'm literally just going to take my riffle board board's out, and I'm simply going to wash out my carpets and my miner's moss all into the main sluice. So all the material is flowing down here. I mean, all the water is going to flow down, pushing all my concentrate down on top of this 1/4-inch screen. Now, before I remove, now all the material has been washed through. There might be some rocks piled up on top, so you want to do a quick inspection. If you're in a large gold area, you have a lot of gold nuggets, you want to make sure you're not going to toss any big nuggets off to the side. So now all the material is being sucked down into the sump, into the side box. So now when I do my final cleanup, remember we have that one small coffee can that's about 1/3 full from both these side boxes. I've now taken all that material and I'm down to about 1/2 of a small coffee can of concentrate. Now I'm going to clean up this one side box. I mean, you have no idea what a time saver, how much energy it saves, how much your recovery is going to be phenomenal. I mean, it really is a huge, huge plus to be able to clean up all your material into one single side box. And to go camp with 1/2 a coffee can full, people won't believe it, but you're going to have hopefully the richest coffee can you've ever held in your life. So that's the goal we're all trying to achieve, is a lot of gold. And this thing catches everything. I don't care if it's 100, 200, 300. With this particular box, I have a strong feeling I'm going to have one of the simplest and the best diamond recovery or gem recovery systems. So I'm really excited to get this dredge back in use again. Okay, so here's just a few more things I may have not covered in the past. Again, you can see there's a lot of control on this dredge. We have a blaster valve coming off the side there. You'll see that cool little Y splitter, and that really helps split the water flow off, and you're able to get full pressure to this down this 1-inch pressure hose. And this is cool. You take this down with a diver and you can use it to blast out cracks and crevices and things like that. But it has another use too. Remember how with this particular diamond dredge unit we're talking about, I'm able to take to that same pressure hose there, and I can hook up either a 2 or a 2.5-inch dredge, and I can take all the concentrates out of that rear sump system. Not the sump system, but the rear sluice. I'll show you here real quick. I'm able to use that same pressure hose to use that to vacuum out all of this whole back end riffle. So that's really cool to have the option to do that. That's a nice thing what we have on this particular dredge. We use a little different kind of pump. We use a very high pressure pump. Now this is kind of cool too, if you haven't seen this before. These aren't clamped in position obviously yet, but on the sluices you have a lot of control. You have actually 4 different individual elevations, so it's really critical that you get these boxes laid down as flat as you can so the water's running through very gently. Drop that water speed hopefully down to about probably 2 to 3 feet per second, so you really give that flower gold an opportunity to fall out of suspension. So let's see, what else can I show you on this thing here. The jet comes with the suction hose quick coupling, which is really nice. See, the inside of the power jet is actually larger than the ID of the hose. See, normally with a conventional dredge, when you're like, especially an older school dredge, you have a lip. When the 6-inch suction hose connects to the power jet, there's a slight reduction, and that slight reduction also creates rock jams. So with this quick coupling system and the jet, in other words, you go with a 6-inch ID hose into a 6 1/8 inch jet. There's no bottlenecks, there's nothing to stop it. So it really does work phenomenal when it comes to allowing you to work for hours and hours without getting any kind of obstructions in the jet or the hose. So it really makes a big difference. And you can see a few more things on the outside of the dredge here. We put handles on it, and really people use that to grab onto the dredge, pull themselves up, move the dredge around in the water. It's also a good place to tie your ropes onto. That's what most people end up doing with it. But I mean, we're really happy with the dredge. I've got these guys up in Alaska who are making some serious money with this thing. I got guys up in Nome, Alaska, Philippines, Papua New Guinea, Madagascar, just about every country you can think of where you find these dredges. The guys are just making bank. Even New Zealand and stuff. There's a guy who has a nice blog on one of these dredge out of New Zealand, and I watched some of his videos. They're pretty cool. But again, I love this machine. This is not the smallest, the lightest, or the cheapest dredge out there, but I'll tell you what, it kicks ass on everything out there, and you will be ecstatic with it. I mean, the kind of gold you're going to catch with this thing basically just blows everything away in the whole world. So if you got gold and you want to get it all, this is the bad boy of the world, of the industry.